I'd like to tell you a story, son.
If it's not about a king, then I'm not interested.
It just so happens that this story is about the King of Kings.
Huh?
Hello and welcome to another edition of the GEB America podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Gunn, and with me today are the team from King of Kings, which is the newest addition to Angel Studios.
Our story begins 2,000 years ago in the little town of Bethlehem.
For unto you is born this day a Savior, which is Christ the Lord.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the speakers and not necessarily those of GEB America, Oral Roberts University, or their employees. This program is not intended to offer investment, financial, medical, legal, or any other advice. Viewers should consult a subject matter professional regarding any such matters.
I'm excited about this one. You are going to be in for a treat. This movie is a historical event. This is one that's going to be marked in the cinematic world because of the quality and the storytelling of this. And welcome, gentlemen, to the show. We're so happy to have you. Chris, I'll let you introduce the esteemed producers and directors to your left there.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 이 영화의 각본과 감독 제작을 맡은 장성호라고 합니다. 반갑습니다.
Hello, my name is Jay. I'm director, writer, and producer of this film. It's very nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Rush, director of photography in this film.
Wonderful. Like I said, it's great to have you on the show and look forward to getting to this with our audience here. And whether you're tuning in, audience members from Pray.com, or whether you're joining us from any number of audio platforms that we're on, we're so happy to have you with us today. And before we even get into this, you're going to want to share this with your friends, let them know, hey, listen to this with me or watch this with me. This is a great, great episode. Looking forward to it. Well, let me just jump right in here. I've got a couple questions for you. To get started here. So, The King of Kings is described as your most personal project to date. What was the inspiration behind this one, and why is it so close to your heart?
저도 크리스찬으로서 예수님 이야기를 늘 해볼 수도 있겠다는 마음이 있었지만 어느 날 그 찰스 디킨스의 팬임에도 불구하고 The Life of Our Lord라는 책이 있다는 걸 뒤늦게 알게 됐어요. 디킨스가 예수님 이야기를 했다고? 놀라운 걸? 그래서 사실 이렇게 뻔한 누구나 다 아는 예수님 이야기를 디킨스의 관점에서 다시 이야기를 풀었을 때 좀 더 새롭게 유익한 어떤 스토리텔링이 가능할 거라는 생각을 하고 그때부터 시작을 하게 된 것 같습니다.
As a Christian myself, I always thought that time will come for me to deliver the story of Jesus to other people. But I thought it would be meaningless if I just repeat what others did so far. And also at the same time, I'm a big fan of Charles Dickens. I read all his books, but it is only recent that I found out that there is this book called Life of Our Lord. And after reading it, I thought it would be very interesting and unique, being able to tell the story of Jesus from the perspective of Charles Dickens. So if I'm successful, I thought I would be able to show to the world something different. So that's how everything started for me.
That's wonderful. Well, I'll tell you, from the opening scene, you had me immediately, as I was a huge fan of Charles Dickens' Scrooge. Not to give too many insights away, but that's a teaser for the audience. I was pulled in right away by that, and remember young childhood plays where I was one of the parts in that, and so I was captivated. by that. So let's hear. You have had quite a storyboard and journey from storyboard artist. I understand you started as a storyboard artist, right? And then VFX for visual effects pioneer, and then now director. So how did those early experiences you learn and grow, how those shape your approach to filmmaking today?
전 어렸을 때부터 영화광이었고 또 만화, 애니메이션 너무 좋아했고 또 그림 그리는 걸 굉장히 좋아했죠. 사실 중학교 때 같이 그림 그리면서 친해졌던 사이이기도 하고 그런 일련의 과정들이 결국 제가 아트스쿨에 가게 만들었고 그리고 그게 이제 스토리보드 아티스트 할 수 있었고요. CG, VFX 슈퍼바이저도 할 수 있었던 거죠. 그런 여정들이 결국 이 작품을 만드는 데 다 필요한 과정이었던 것 같아요.
I have always been a big fan of movies and animations ever since I was very young. And I met Woosh from middle school. We went to middle school together when we were very young. And I always had passion of being able to work in a movie industry. So with my talent and passion, it was very original for me to go to the art school in college. So after in my career, I was obviously led to work in the industry as a VFX supervisor. So all those experiences come together have led me to make this film, I believe. So it is the consolidation of my passion and character and my ambition, I believe.
Wonderful. We're so glad you brought it come to fruition, all those journey and learning, and get to bring it to us now. So thankful. What unique perspective do you feel like King of Kings brings to the story of Jesus compared to previous many cinematic approaches to that?
사실 예수님 이야기는 누구나 다 알죠. 교회를 다니지 않는 사람들도 일반인들도 다 알아요. 그 이야기를 다시 반복하는 지루하게 그럴 수는 없다고 생각했습니다. 그래서 저는 월터라는 어린아이의 시선에서 그가 경험하는 예수님의 여정을 관객이 똑같이 따라하기를 바랬어요. 그래서 영화가 끝났을 때 월터가 예수님의 희생의 의미를 받아들이는 그 체험의 순간을 관객이 함께 경험하게 만들고 싶었습니다.
The story of Jesus is known by so many people, whether they are religious or not religious. So again, I thought it will be meaningless if I just repeat what other people did before this.
Yeah.
But instead, I wanted to follow the footsteps of Charles Dickens' son, Walter, in the film.
Yes.
So I wanted the audience to follow his journey throughout the process. And at the end, near to the last part of the movie, there's a scene where Walter accepts and acknowledges the meaning of Jesus' message and understand the love of Jesus. So I wanted the audience to follow Walter's footsteps in the movie, and at the same time also feel the same thing, also have the same feeling that Walter had, close to the end. So that was my biggest objective when I first produced it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I love it. Now, given your expertise, as you mentioned before, of starting in the visual effects area, how did you balance the spectacle of the emotional and spiritual depth of that story?
기술적인 거는 약간 그 스토리를 전달하고 캐릭터의 감정을 만들어주는 그런데 제 필요한 도구일 뿐인데 요즘에 헐리우드 영화들을 보면 너무나 과시하듯이 CGI를 많이 쓰죠. 그때 이제 더 이상 어떤 감흥도 없고 과도하다는 느낌을 많이 받아서 이번 작품에 저는 그렇게 사용하지 않으려고 했습니다. 감정을 전달하는 것에 어떤 주요한 수단, 필요한 도구. 네.
Due to my career in the VFX industry for a long time, I have certain level of understanding of the technology, but I think those tech should be used as a tool to deliver the message and drama of the film instead of showing off what technology we had. I think the recent Hollywood films, they depend too much on the visual effects without telling the drama, without delivering the essence, the message. So I wanted to adopt the same concept of delivering the message and the emotions to the audience and using the technology as a tool for that, so that it supports. not being excessive inside the film.
That's very good. One of the scenes that came to mind as you're describing that was the very, very well-known scene of Jesus healing demoniac and casting the demons out of him and going into the pigs as they go down the hill or the mountain into the water. And I thought that was very, very well told in a cartoon background, but very well framed with the scene and the people there. So that was, and if you're, as you get to see this come out, audience members, this is one to watch for. It's a really cool effect. So well done, sir. I really enjoyed that part. Yeah.
I mean, to me, as a person who is in charge of the camera and lights, since the story itself is about miracle, but we try not to do any crazy things with camera or lights. So there isn't any miraculous, crazy 3D camera moves. We tried to stay as calm as possible so that the story, the content itself can be delivered fluently.
Well said. Yeah, that's a great. Seeing what I've seen, I haven't seen the entirety yet, but what I've seen so far, I as you described that comes across really well. So nice. Okay, so what the film aims to be both rich and vibrant, as what's been said. How do you ensure that the visual storytelling enhances rather than overshadows the film's deeper message?
사실은 상황들을 표현하는 데 있어서 특히 실사 영화 같은 경우에 그것들을 실제 구현할 수 없는 것들이 너무 많은 거죠. 구현이 가능하다 해도 너무 지나친 대가를 치르거나 비용이 들어가기 때문에 그럴 때 사실 시각효과는 관객들한테 믿음직한 정말 있을 법한 현실을 제공하는 좋은 수단일 수 있어요. 근데 이제 모든 게 다 허용되다 보면 사실 그런 현실성은 더 오히려 반감되는 역효과가 발생할 수 있죠. 근데 애니메이션 같은 경우 특히 뭐든지 다 가능하다라는 거가 오히려 진짜 같은 느낌을 없애버리는 것 같아요. 그래서 저는 이 작품을 하는 동안 정말 그 공간 안에서 함께 체험하고 실제 벌어지는 일을 경험하는 것처럼 느끼게 할 수 있도록 너무 과하지 않게 제어를 좀 많이 했던 것 같습니다.
In live action film, there's obviously are a lot of restrictions and limitations as to what you can show, what you can build. So, but in animation, you know, as everyone knows, everything is possible. You know, whatever the character you have, whatever the background, the generation, the age, what you have, you know. But we were very careful because if everything is allowed inside the animation, and if we create something irregular and, you know, which is too excessive for the audience to feel, you know, that will be that I thought that won't be advantage of animation. In fact, it may diminish the feeling of reality to the audience. So I did my very best not to hurt that kind of atmosphere of the animation, but at the same time, the audience can feel that they are actually inside the film when they are watching it from the theater. So I try to express those emotions to the audience through that process.
I'm curious. I know in animation you have two parts probably, and I don't know as much as you do in terms of how they come together, but I was very taken and impressed with the voices you got to come alongside this project. So what can you talk about working with those voices, those who came along inside and voiced the characters, pretty well known in the U.S. Cinematic world, working with those artists in their craft and getting to voice such amazing, powerful story.
제가 영어가 제 영어가 아니다 보니까 뭐 대충 알아듣긴 하지만 디렉션을 주는데 한계가 있었죠. 그런데 그 디즈니에서 오랫동안 일했던 제이미 토마슨이라는 탁월한 보이스 디렉터가 함께 해주면서 제가 원하는 바를 그 사람이 충분히 이해하고 그런 프로세스를 통해서 이제 배우의 디렉션을 가지고 온 거죠. 너무 훌륭한 배우들이 그 캐릭터들에게 생명력을 부여해줬어요. 그래서 너무나 좋은 결과를 얻은 것 같습니다.
Since when I wrote the script, since English is not my first language, I was a little concerned, how to deliver my intention into the writing. But luckily I was able to work with Jamie Thomason, who worked at Disney for a long time, who is a voice director and casting director. So I have worked with him for a considerable amount of time in order to tell him what I actually intended when I wrote each line, and I wanted him to wanted that of my intention to be delivered to each voice actors through Jamie. So it was it wasn't an easy process. It was very hard for me and Jamie as well. But spending a lot of time together has made it possible. So he has finally understood the entire script. So, and what I was trying to tell and what message I was trying to convey through the voices of the voice actors. So after that understanding, it was very easy for me to work with all the cast. And I believe Jamie and obviously the great cast did tremendous job participating in this movie.
I would echo that. I would agree with you. They did a very good job. What would you say beyond that? Because obviously that's a challenge in and of itself, as you just described. Were there any other challenges in depicting miracles or biblical events that made it feel fresh and authentic, that you had to tell that in a different way?
사실 성경이 워낙 비유가 많아서 한정된 시간 내에 이걸 다 담을 수 없었기 때문에 처음에 시나리오 쓸 때 뭘 취하고 뭘 버려야 될지 그 굉장히 큰 고민이 있었죠. 그런데 결국 성경의 첫 줄부터 끝줄까지를 한 단어로 요약했을 때 사랑이다. 그러면 월터가 예수님의 사랑을 느끼게 하려면 어떻게 해야 되나? 그 기준으로 해서 이제 선택을 하게 됐고 좀 더 명확해진 것 같아요.
All the events in the Bible, most of the events are not expressly stipulated as it happened in reality, but instead it is a lot of analogies are used in the Bible to describe certain event. So it was very hard for me in the very beginning to decide what kind of events that I'm going to select and insert into this film. And then I thought of it this way, okay, if I was to summarize the entire Bible into one word or one sentence, that would be love. Love of Jesus. So that was clear to me. So after realizing and clarification of that concept, I picked those particular events to describe the love of Jesus to the audience. So after that, it was very easy for me.
Excellent. Very good. And based upon what you just said, based upon the love being the core theme, which I fully agree with as well, what is one of the hopes and purposes that you want somebody that walks into this film to walk out with?
지금 세상이 다 혼란스럽고 심지어 아직도 여기저기서 전쟁이 일어나고 있고 심지어 교회를 다니는 사람들이 서로 교파가 다르고 교리가 다르다는 걸로 소통이 힘들어지고 결국은 이 복음의 본질이 무엇인가에 좀 집중을 해서 예수님 말씀대로 제발 이 영화를 보고 나오면서 서로 사랑해야 된다는 걸 깨달았으면 좋겠어요.
I believe we are living in a confusing world these days. There's a lot of wars around the world, and there's a lot of disputes between people, and also between the Christians. There are a lot of religious doctrines and denominations, and people, they just exclude each other and rule out each other's opinion without resolution. And I think, I want those people and also non-Christians to realize and acknowledge after watching this movie that Jesus is love, and the essence of the gospel is to love each other. So I would be more than happy if the audience can walk out with that message in their heart.
Wonderful. First of all, let me say thank you to our guests. Thank you for your time today. We'll put the information of how to get in touch with getting tickets as we publish this and getting a hold of showtimes in your local areas. I think there's a central website. We'll post that in the show notes as well here. But I want to say thank you This opens April 11th, I believe, is the correct date everywhere. And like I said, we'll give you the exact link below. But this is an exciting one. We're going to want to share this with your friends. Not just this fun interview, we just learned behind the scenes a lot, but also about how you can go watch it together and get a group together and go see this together and enjoy the story of Jesus in a way you've never seen before. I'm so thankful. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for this. And thank you for this love project to bring this message of hope and truth to a generation today in such a way they've never heard it before. And I'm Stephen Gunn, host of your GEB America podcast. Thanks again to our guests, and make sure you find a way to help someone know the love of Jesus is the way to live well.
Thank you.